That's together, and I have to say, Garrin is an incredible human being, and I am so glad that I had to meet him, because seeing the way he talking to people, his relationship with people, and how he do business with people, I have learned a lot from him. So with that being said, I, Tony, the president of the Entrepreneurship Club, gladly that we can introduce our speaker today, Mr. Garrin Bulani.
Yeah! I love it. I love it, man. I love it. You got it. You got it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, y'all. Thank you so much. Let's give it up. Give it up for Tony, y'all. Yeah. You got it, baby. All right, I appreciate y'all. We had to work on that intro. We were talking about that. So I need to like make this like a WWE kind of style. So we worked on that intro. Thank you, Tony, for showing up. It's very hard to come on stage for a lot of people, especially with when you're just first entering into this in a very, very new event. So I love this kind of stuff, and I'm excited for you all to be here. Thank you all so much for making the commitment to be here tonight. You all can be anywhere. There's a bunch of different events that are happening this evening, and you all chose to come here and become better in yourself. So for this presentation, I'm going to dive in here, but I'm going to be as efficient as possible with this. I don't want to be on here for too long, because as much as I have a presentation for you all, and I'm going to teach you all the steps that it takes to become an elite entrepreneur, the power and the focus are the people in this room and the community that you're all going to build here tonight. I've done business across Canada, and Saskatchewan is a very, very unique market where the value of connections, the value of community, the value of giving back is very, very strong here. And it can take some time to get into the market and make a brand for yourself, but keeping focus on giving back and leaning into the community in Saskatchewan, that's how you're going to be an elite entrepreneur in a market like this. So let me dive into this here. Let's get So for the event agenda, again, I'm going to keep this about 30 minutes. We'll go to maybe about 45 minutes. I want this to be an interactive workshop. I don't want you all just sitting there staring at me. I'm going to ask you some questions, and then we're going to try to keep this as engaging as possible. So I want you all to discover your why. We're going to start very, very surface level when it comes to entrepreneurship. My idea of this entrepreneur, we have about 18 to maybe 28-year-olds that are here. And I was at an event last week, and I was talking with someone, and he asked me, what am I going to be talking about for these young entrepreneurs? And I said, we're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about goal setting. And he said to me, it is very surface level. They should understand that. And when you're an elite entrepreneur, this is the foundation that you need to establish, because it's often overlooked. And we need to understand the value of your why. Because as Tony said, entrepreneurship is a grind. You have to be a certain kind of crazy to go into this industry and be successful at it. Because entrepreneurship is going to break you before it blesses you. It's going to expose your vulnerabilities. It's going to shed a different light on who you are as a person. It's going to make you feel insecure no matter what you're doing. So having the foundation of understanding your why and why you're actually doing this, you're going to relay back to this over and over and over again throughout your career as an entrepreneur. So we're going to dive into discovering your why. We're going to talk about having an elite mindset. Again, entrepreneurship is very much a head game for you. It's you versus you when you're in this world of entrepreneurship. And you have to go years and years of being misunderstood, of people not knowing what you're really trying to build, and not having something like that. You really need to have a strong mindset and be positive for yourself when you're going into entrepreneurship. Buying back your time. My mentor, my coach is Dan Martell. He's based in Kelowna, and he built his whole foundation of business of understanding the value of time and how you can utilize it to your advantage. Because very much like what Tony said, when you're an entrepreneur at the start, you're doing everything. You're marketing, you're administration, you're doing accounting, you're doing outreach. It's absolutely everything. And most entrepreneurs, they're gonna reach a bottleneck of burnout because you're doing everything at once. So understanding the value of your time. So we're gonna dive into that. So it's gonna be surface level education with goal set, mindset. And then we're gonna go into more fundamentals of how you can understand the value of your time, how we can utilize this time, and then how you can start delegating these tasks as an entrepreneur so you can start scaling your brand or your business at a very rapid rate. And then finally, I'm gonna finish off with my absolute favorite, is building your professional brand. I'm here today, and you are all here today because you've either seen my videos or you came across my social media. And there's been this mindset in Saskatchewan that a lot of leaders, they leave because they think that Saskatchewan is such a small market. They think, I need to go to a Calgary, I need to go to a Vancouver in order to be successful. We live in a digital age that you can live anywhere. And if you have a personal brand, and if people know, like, and trust you, you can sell whatever you want. You can sell toilet paper for all I care, because if people know and like and trust you, they're gonna trust your word for it and they're gonna gravitate to you no matter what. Another benefit of having a personal brand is you are all gonna start businesses of your own, and you're gonna grow it to a point where you might exit your business, or you might have a bigger business come to you and say, hey, I wanna buy your business off of you. So even though whatever, if Tony, you're building a window washing company right now, you might not be Tony Window Washer for the rest of your life. You might get to a point where somebody acquires you and you're gonna have to leave that away. What you can't take away from yourself is your personal brand. You can take that anywhere you go, and that's why I'm so passionate and I wanna teach you all about the value of building your personal brand. So we're gonna go into these 4 quadrants. So my question, I wanna open this up to you all. We talked about how entrepreneurship, you got to be a certain type of crazy, and you're you're going to go through a lot of down times. Again, this is an emotional roller coaster. After this, I'm going to tell you why I want to be an entrepreneur and why I'm doing this. But you are all here today, and we'll just open fire this. Why are you here today, and why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Somebody talk with me. Money? I like money. Okay. So we want to be an entrepreneur because we want money.
Legacy.
Legacy, I like that. Legacy is a good one.
Freedom.
Freedom? We all like freedom.
I want to build something.
Something, what do you want to build? Okay, want to build something. Anyone else? I like that. Money, legacy, freedom. And build something.
Legacy is a why.
Sorry guys, I'm a little bit nervous. Legacy, why? Legacy. I was joking, when I did my video, I called this place Lewis's. Somebody came up to me and said, you're not from here, are you? It's like, Louis. I'm like, oh my God. So, I'm a video guy. I'm not a speller or anything like that. So why do you want to be an entrepreneur? These are all very, very valid understandings, and you can build to this. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I went to University of Edmonton. I went to a place called King's College. Before that, I worked at Booster Juice and the Cornwall Center in Regina. I worked full-time during the summertime because I wanted to make enough money to be able to pay my university. I didn't want to take out student loans. And after the first year, I blew my whole savings. So at the end of that summer, I was in a position where I needed to get a summer job. And I didn't know what I had to do. I was thinking about doing landscaping, going to work for the city, doing something simple with my friends. I had a gentleman who I met up with. He said he had a crazy opportunity of door knocking. I sat down with him at a Boston Pizza. A young 18-year-old kid, I was broke, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And this gentleman painted this vision for me of a sense of entrepreneurship where it's 100% commission role, you eat what you kill, and you can learn a strong foundation of the value of yourself. And it's very scary as an 18-year-old kid, left my home for the first time, living on my own, and I had to take this leap of faith. It was a 100% commission job. I didn't have any sales experience before. I had a little bit. I worked for. I was at Scouts, and I sold popcorn door to door. So that was kind of my skill set with that. I didn't have any friends that wanted to join me. It was just me and myself. So he told me, listen, if you listen to what I teach you, and you have no safety net, you'll be successful. You have a work ethic, no safety net, you'll be successful. So I went out that summer. First month was very rough for me. I wasn't able to click it, I wasn't able to get it. At the end of the summer, first year, I ended up making $65,000 that summer. And then it was at that moment I realized, damn, like this is a really powerful position to be in, because yes, the money was there, but what I went through as a young 18-year-old kid, knocking on doors, getting told no 70 times, having a bunch of stuff. Has anybody knocked doors here? Like besides Tony, do we understand? A decent amount. I highly encourage everybody to go out and try door knocking. Even with my university degree, door knocking has taught me a strong fundamentals that you don't necessarily learn in a university setting. You go out and do it. So for those remaining 8 years, of course, when you make $65,000 as an 18-year-old within 4 months, it was a no-brainer. I was going back in, I was a traveling sales rep. And then throughout those years, I was able to make around $65,000 to $90,000 each every single year. And I was very good at saving. So I was able to graduate from university debt-free, which was one of my goals. But even doing 8 years of door-to-door sales, we always have this notion that you go into corporate sales, you want to climb the corporate ladder. I had a lot of direct-to-consumer sales experience. I wanted to expand my sales knowledge and go into this world of B2B business and B2B sales. So that's when I moved to Saskatoon. There was a sales job here. The company was Shred-it. So I sold a paper shredding service. I would go to businesses, there was this wooden box, and I say, hey, you have your confidential information. You put it in this box, and we shred it. And it was amazing for me because I was the only sales rep in Saskatchewan, and we were the only company that offered on-site shredding. So a lot of businesses would take their shredding, and they would take it off-site. So when you deal with confidential information, you go to pharmacies, you go to doctors, all of that personal information that you have, accountants, telling them, hey, we shred it right outside your business, was a huge game changer for me. And the fact that nobody even worked the Saskatchewan market. So I was very, very successful with that. I worked for them about 6 years, and that's where I averaged around 125 to 180,000. So again, very, very successful in the sales world, very successful in corporate. But the issue that I ran into is corporate. It was a little different with entrepreneurship and door knocking. There's a lot of politics when it comes into corporate. And being a sales rep in Saskatchewan, as good as I was, if I wanted to elevate my career, I had to relocate. There was no way for me to switch that. I'd have to go to a Calgary or Vancouver, and I just wasn't in that position to do it. I applied for probably about 5 promotions and got turned down to all of them. So for myself, I hit this certain type of ceiling. And what happened was in 2020, we all had to start selling on Zoom. And immediately, it took me within a week where back in 2020, we all got thrown into this world where we had to start selling on Zoom and selling on video. And just the etiquette of running business meetings at that time went out the window. People thought it was great to show up in their sweatsuit. They had their laptop where the camera was looking up their nose. And I saw right away that we're talking about $100,000 contracts on these Zoom calls, and you're in a basement and I'm looking up your nose. It's very, very grainy. So I immediately, wanting to be different and wanting to set myself apart from all the competitors, I immediately ran to Costco. I bought, at that time, it was a $50 web camera. I set it up. I bought myself a little microphone. And I would go to these Zoom meetings, and then immediately it's like, Garrin, like, you're very, very clear. And I would wear dress clothes on these Zoom meetings. I would show up just like I would show up in the corporate space. So immediately I got the respect that I commanded, which resulted in a shorter sales cycle. And I didn't have to travel. I didn't have to drive to Swift Current or Prince Albert to do the same sort of spiel. So I immediately saw right away, I can make this same commission and I don't gotta leave my house. I mean, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. So being in the year 2020, I ended up selling about 130 plus KPIs. So whatever they thought I was going to sell, I ended up selling 130 over that. And I relay that to selling on video, showing up professionally, and treating the job as if I was in the corporate space. But because I saw a threshold and I saw this immediate market that, man, people do not look good on video, that's when I took the leap of faith. I said, there's an opportunity here where I can come in and I can coach consultants and I can coach entrepreneurs and even in the corporate space, how to show it better on video. So I left in 2020, and since then, I went all in on my personal brand, and 5 years later, I built a personal brand that is well over $1 million in enterprise value. And I'm doing that in Saskatoon, in my spare bedroom, at 34 years of age. This is my home studio. Welcome to Micro Studio. I went down this crazy rabbit hole. I was not a videographer. I was not a photographer. I just fell in love with the concept of showing up on video just extremely crispy, looking like Hollywood. And I dove into this world. And this, probably over about 8 months, I continually taught myself. YouTube University is where I learned all my video skills. And I dove into more and I invested more. And that home studio, that's a 10 by 10 spare bedroom, I invested over $100,000 just worth of equipment. And I love this place. It's my little spaceship. There's nowhere I would rather be than be in that studio. I can create, there's so much magic that happens in this home studio. What I love most is I'm in my house. I can be downstairs drinking coffee in the morning, and I can think of a crazy idea. Whatever commercial, whatever you can think of, if you see something on Instagram, I can go upstairs and I can create it. And again, I'm all about setting myself apart. We're here to talk about being an elite entrepreneur. We're not talking about just being an entrepreneur. You can just be an entrepreneur. I want to be an elite entrepreneur. I want to be world class at what I would do. I want to be remembered for excellence, perseverance, hard work. So I would go up there and I could create content faster than any of my competitors, at a higher quality than any of my competitors. I take pride in Micro Studio. We create high quality content at a rapid rate. When it comes to content creation, I get a lot of brands that reach out to me now. Because I built a personal brand, I started on LinkedIn, which is a weird place to start for social media. But what the great part about it is when you build a personal brand, it doesn't go anywhere. So I have a solid foundation on LinkedIn, and I built that up. And because of that, I was a one-person show. I relied on video to get my name out there. And because of that, when you make a very good, high-quality video, it doesn't go anywhere. It's there forever. And I would get brands all across the world reach out to me, say, hey, can we send you your products? We'll send you our products. You can create content for us. And it's been a very, very lucrative industry. And we can talk about this after the show, but if I've talked to a few people here that, hey, I'm just learning photography, I'm just learning video, I want to learn content creation. Content creation is going to be, it's a sea of blue as far as the industry goes. It's erupting as we speak. A lot of people are not talking about it because we don't learn a lot about it. But to give you guys an idea, my personal brand, I'm going to build a world-class media team just like what we have here tonight that follows me around. I run keynotes like this, and we cut that up into social media content. I can't do that on my own, so I'm going to need video editors, photographers, content creators to help explode my personal brand. So if content creation is something that you've had in the back of your head, I'm telling you right now, it is an extremely lucrative industry, and you can make a lot of money if you focus on it. So what does it mean to be elite? We talk about entrepreneurship. You can check in day by day. Being an elite entrepreneur is doing things that nobody else is willing to do when nobody's watching. I work alone. I work remotely in my house. I've worked remotely for 7 years. I don't know, hands up, does anybody struggle working from home? Does anybody just relax at home? Have difficulty working from home? A little bit. You get comfy. Your couch is there. You get distracted quite a bit. Yeah, man, I should do my dishes. I should, there's a little dust. I should do this. So being an elite entrepreneur is doing things when nobody's watching you. Doing the fundamentals, the little things. It's little things that lead to little things that lead to big things. A mistake and a limiting belief that I had as an entrepreneur is thinking that there was going to be one swing at the axe. There's going to be one giant moment that's going to catapult me into this claim that we call success. I've been doing this for 5 years. I've never had this catapult moment. Maybe it'll happen, but it's baby steps. It looks like nothing at the start, but when you look back 5 years, and this is why I love video, because when I look back 5 years, what I created videos, I'm like, man, like I improved considerably. Even 6 months, my video 6 months ago. So it's constantly improving. It's constantly evaluating yourself, being harsh with yourself. Am I being the best person that I can be right now? I know there's nobody around and nobody sees this kind of stuff, but am I doing everything I can to be the best I can be? And that's what it means to be an elite entrepreneur, and it's going to set you apart from everybody else. We're going to do a goal setting strategy activity, because again, you have your why. So everybody, you'll remember your why. This is what you're going to go back to every single time. I'll tell you right now, money is not going to always motivate you. It's motivating you when you're broke, but it's just a byfactor of what you actually want to do in your life. If you want freedom, you can use money to generate freedom, where if you want to take your family out for vacations or do whatever it is. So I highly encourage you all, money's great, but you got to dig deeper on your why. This is great, very surface level, but you want to talk about legacy? Ask yourself, what does legacy mean to you? Is it having the whole world remember you? Is it having a global presence? Maybe you just want to just be the best version of your family. Maybe you want to be the best version father, mother. You talk about legacy. So I encourage you, when you think about your why, write them out, have them on your phone, so you're reviewing them constantly, and we'll go into this. But always dig deeper. Why? What is it about the money? What are you going to do with the money? What does the money mean to you? What is the byfactors of that? So the goal setting activity, there's a bunch of different ways that you can do goals. For this demonstration, I'm going to break these down into micro and macro goals. So we got micro, we got macro. We got short term. We got long-term goals. When I say micro goals, I want you to be selfish. I want you to, whatever you want, whether it be new pair of boots, fancy watch, be selfish when it comes to micro goals. Because elite entrepreneurs, you use that to push yourself. If you go out and you buy a nice pair of boots and it's a little bit out of your price range, when you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation like that, it's going to push you forward. It's going to motivate you to work a little bit harder, because you say, damn, I spent $200 over I should have on these boots or on the watch. I'm very much into materialistic items. I think it's a good driver when you're first starting out as an entrepreneur. It's not everything by all means. Like, there's more to life than having a nice pair of shoes and a watch. But it's a solid when you're working alone and you're just building something on your own and you don't see that immediate success. It's going to push you and it's going to motivate you to be able to do something like that. So for me, and I want you all to write this down as we're going through it, and I want to ask two of you to maybe stand up and be brave enough to tell me what your goals are. Because there's a thing about goals where you keep it to yourself. I'm a firm believer in telling the world. Whatever you want in life, you need to tell the world. Tell anybody who's listening to you, you need to give it out to the universe. Because when you give it out to the universe will give it back to you. If the universe doesn't know what you want, it doesn't know what to give it back. There's a lot of people that want to keep their goal setting. They want to be humble. Be very proud of what you're trying to achieve. So for me, by the end of the year, a micro goal for me is I want to get 3 brand deals. 3 brand deals by the end of the year. I get a lot of inbound leads when it comes to brand deals, but calling out and outreach is still a key component when you're starting as entrepreneurship, and it doesn't end. You can outsource it, but you always need to do outreach. Micro goal for me as well is read 25 books in 2026. When I reach these goals, I'm getting a new pair of boots. When I read 25 books, I haven't written down my 2026 goals yet, but you understand the component of that. Micro goals that are short term, and reward yourself for those. Because when you reward yourself, you feel good, your endorphins release out. Macro goals. When Tony reached out to me and asked, do you want to do a workshop? I couldn't say no. I'm very much into spirituality and faith, and I felt that this was my calling. I sat on the sidelines for the last 4 years. This is my comfort zone. When I was in university, I would always get brought into the SMART group. It was probably because I showed up to class every single day. But every time we did the report aspect, I would do my part of the report. And then at the end of the group work, I'd read the report, and my part was always revised. It was always changed. But when it came down to the presentation and answering questions, that's where they all leaned on to me. So I found out at an early age in my career that this is where I feel fulfilled. This is where I feel energized and being able to make an impact. So because of this, you have to be uncomfortable. I haven't ran a workshop in front of 150 students before on my own. So I said, this is a perfect time to do it. Right here in Saskatoon as my launching pad. And I'm very grateful for you all. So when I'm rich and famous, you all can say, listen, I saw this guy way back for the very first time. So my goals in macro. Macro, you want to not be selfish. You want to reach out. You want to make the impact. Macro is making an impact on the world. We talked about Saskatchewan and very much how it's community-based. And how the more you give back in this city and more you give back in this province, it's going to come back to you. And so that's a very unique component to Saskatchewan. You go to bigger metropolitan areas, it's very go, money, money, money. Here, it's very unique that way. And if you can master that. So I want to get 15 workshops. So if there's anybody out there that has any workshops in 2026, I'd love to learn a little bit more about that. With me being a content creator, I want to produce next year a minimum 400 pieces of content. I love creating content. It's almost like a lottery ticket for me. I create this piece of content, I put it out to the world, I'm like, this could be the one. I'm a firm believer that it takes one video to change your life. It takes one video to change somebody else's life. We'll go into limiting beliefs when it comes to content creation, but I feel that we all have a duty to send positivity out in the world. And everybody in this room can find 1 million people that will gravitate to your message, and I wholeheartedly believe that. It's going to take you a long time. But with the amount of people in this world, everyone, whatever your characteristics are, whatever your personality is, there's 1 million other people that will love that and they'll gravitate to that and then they'll want to hear from you. So for me, I want to produce minimum 400 pieces of content in 2026. And producing content and giving it out, that's me giving out information, that's me giving out my energy to the world. It's not about me when it comes to the content creation. Yes, I'm part of the show, but it's not about me. So short-term goals, I just recently hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. Followers is not a reflection of who you are as a person. I want to make that very, very clear. But it is a vanity metric that you need to monitor when you are a content creator. I'll dive more into that as well, but since hitting 10,000, my goal is to 10x all of my goals. Ideally, by the end of 2026, I'd like to hit 100K. Again, short-term goal, that's a micro goal for me. This one's a big one for me. If you hang out with me long enough, I want a Mercedes AMG G63 so bad, so bad. Matte white, black rims, 2026, brand new. Nobody can sit in that car except for me. That's what's driving me the most right now as an individual. And my dad, God bless my dad, I love him. He said, Garrin, that's a waste of money. I'm like, yeah, I know. But money is an abundance. Money is, there's not a shortage of money in this world. And we can dive into this in another workshop, but when it comes to money mindset, there's an abundance out there. Money is just a battery to what your real goals are. Utilize money to push you through your goals. And again, I got myself a G63 that's going to put me in a position where more people are going to want to talk with me and more people are going to be inspired by me. I want to show the world that you can be this random dude from Saskatchewan, built $1 million brand in his spare bedroom, and he whips around in a G63. So I talk about that quite a bit. That's a big one for me. Short-term, and that's a short-term goal for me. I turned 35 in April. Anything's possible. Speak into existence. G63 by 35. Now, long-term goal for me. I'm in about year 5 of entrepreneurship. I have a clear path. I've had some success. And with personal brands, content creation, and AI, those are the 3 winners that are going to be going through. If you have a personal brand, you can't be replaced. And even if you have a personal brand, you can implement AI to duplicate you and replicate you. And my vision is the more AI that comes out, the more technology that comes out, the more that this matters. Events, bringing people. People will pay to want to hang out with me because I bring a certain type of energy to them. I bring them belief. I bring them joy. That's where I want to do that. So it's a long-term goal for me. $1 million a month. That's a little bit selfish. I'm a big believer in books and education. There's 2 books that a bunch of you will actually received tonight that's been a foundation and the reason for my success as an entrepreneur. My business coach, Dan Martell, he made a goal for himself a couple months ago that he wanted to give away 10,000 copies of Think and Grow Rich to young entrepreneurs such as yourself tonight. I said, that's pretty cool. And because I use that religiously, I read that on a regular basis, I said, I like that goal. The impact that I would make on the world, you talk about legacy, the impact that you make on the world, giving away books and the education, there's nothing better than that. That's better than the G63, it's better than 100,000 followers, bringing inspiration for you all, empowerment. So my goal now is I matched his 10,000 copies of Think and Grow Rich is my goal. What is that? And then I want to do another 10K copies of Buy Back Your Time. So those are some general examples. I know we got gentlemen here writing notes, others writing notes. Is there anybody brave enough that wants to stand up and give your goals to the universe? We got one in the back. Please, stand up. Tell me your goals.
I'm not sure if I put them in the correct category.
No problem.
And so I have my, get my 100K cash flow.
100K cash flow?
Yeah, in 2026.
I like that. That's a great goal.
Yeah. And get promotion.
Promotion?
Yeah.
What would you like it to promote it to?
The senior marketing.
Promoted to senior marketing. I like that. 100K cash flow.
Yeah.
Promoted within your business as a senior marketer.
And get 10 licensed member.
Say that again, sorry?
Get 10 licensed people in my team and lead them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that all you have?
Yeah, it's more.
Those are amazing goals. Please give it, what was your name, sorry? Lawlin? Give it up for Lawlin. Every single day, you need to review your goals. Look at yourself in the mirror. And I want you to change your terminology a bit to I'm going to, I will. You're going to get promoted into being a senior marketer. You're going to increase your cash flow to 100K. And when you say that to yourself in the mirror, again, goals, give it out to the world, but be personal with it. Say it with conviction. You look at yourself in the mirror, dead in the eyes. I'm going to get promoted as a senior marketer. I'm going to get 100K cash flow. I'm going to get a G63. I'm going to give away 10,000 copies of Think and Grow Rich and 10,000 copies of Buy Back Your Time. I'm going to build $1 million a month personal brand. It's the power of manifestation. You say it enough, your brain is going to reprogram, and you give it to the universe. I promise you the universe will give it back. It might not be tomorrow, it might not be next week. It will come back to you. You say it enough and you say it with conviction. And that's the power. And if you can lean in on your why and you remind yourself every single day what your goals really are, that's how we're going to be building an elite mindset. 5 daily non-negotiables. This is something that, especially when I work alone, that I'm doing these over and over again. Non-negotiables. They're non-negotiables for a reason. Even when you feel like you don't feel like doing it. The way you build confidence as an individual It's keeping promises that you make to yourself when no one's around. You don't want to go to the gym? You go to the gym. You tell yourself, I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock every single day for this semester. You do it. And every time you keep these little micro promises to yourself, that's how you build your confidence over time. Because you'll think back, anytime that you come into doubt, you'll go back and you know what, man? I've been that guy. That's the reason why I can go in entrepreneurship. I'll go months sometimes. I've been going months without any sort of revenue coming in. And that's regular when you start out. And I question, man, am I doing this right? Am I able to do this? And then I go back and I remember 18-year-old Garrin knocking on the doors, not giving up, pushing through. I'm like, yeah, and that's how you get your confidence. Micro goals consistently. So 5 daily non-negotiables. And I want you all to implement these ASAP. These are what the elite entrepreneurs are doing. In Dan Martell's class, Academy, these are all the $100,000, $100 million entrepreneurs. These are what they're implementing on a regular basis. So first one, reading 10 pages. Let's do this. Do different colors here. My coach taught me to use different colors when you're doing whiteboard. Ten pages of non-fiction book. Fiction book. This doesn't mean textbooks. This is outside of textbooks. Every single day. Am I spelling stuff wrong? Remember, I'm nervous. This is my first time doing a workshop. Extremely important. Introduce yourself to 5 people every single day. We're all in a room right now. We all a bunch of people that want to be elite entrepreneurs. Make a note to introduce yourself, whether it's social media, talking to your followers, see somebody down the hallway, introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Garrin Bulani. I'm just a student here. Who are you? The more hands you shake, the more opportunities you make, the more money you make. 5 people. Every single day. This is the most important for me. I hear some sighs. Extremely important. I know a lot of multimillionaires, very successful business owners in their 40s, 45s, miserable because they don't have their health. You all are very young right now. This is the easiest time for you to build a strong foundation for your body. It's not going to get any easier for you. You're not going to have any more time than you all have right now. I was a university basketball athlete. Working out was what I utilized when it came to stress, anxiety. I always resorted to working out. Young age, started at grade 10, and it's like breathing for me. I don't even think about it. I wake up, I have my morning routine, I go to the gym and I leave. And when we live in a world where there's such high anxiety, we have medical professionals so easy to push pills. When so many, if you just go to the gym, and it's not, I'm saying sweat every day, you don't have to lift weights, go on the treadmill, walk, break a sweat, 30 minutes is all you need. You need to exhaust the body, tame the mind every single time. It's not going to get any easier. When you get your 40s, 45s, you want to lose your weight, I'm telling you, you'll thank yourself every single day. Number 4, create content for your brand. It's probably my second for me. Now, content's not always video. It doesn't have to be video. You can write in your journal, that's content. Creating something, putting stuff on paper, whether you're writing, maybe you're just talking about your goals, you're creating that. You have a gratitude list. Creating content for yourself every single day. As an entrepreneur, when my world is collapsing and everything is, I don't know what I'm doing during the day, if I put my head on the pillow at the end of the day and if I work out, and if I create a piece of content, I say that's a good day. Everything else could be on fire, could have lost a big deal, I could have made a mistake, but if I work out, and if I create a piece of content, I'm excited. And these are the baby steps, because you look back on yourself when you're creating videos and you realize you came a long way. And that's another component in itself, is just seeing personal growth through video, through social media. Talked about this, and I won't dive into it too hard, but review and rehearse your goals. And I'm writing all this down is because when you write it down, it stays in your memory. I know you all can listen to me and you can do this. So gentleman in the front here is writing his goals down, amazing. I know some of you are on your phone typing stuff out, but when you write stuff down, again, this is stuff that you put in the subliminal and you really, really learn it. So that's why I'm writing it down today. I know my penmanship is a little wonky, my spelling's a little off. I got autocorrect, what do I need to spell for, you know? So, but this is the lead entrepreneurship mindset. And this is the foundation that when I go to these entrepreneurs that are in their 40s and their 50s and their life is a mess, they hate their life, they're not doing it. One of these, they're missing out, or they're missing two of them. Again, it's 5 daily every single day. So now we went through surface level stuff. I want to go more in deep. This is going to be a little bit more advanced. It's going to be a little bit higher level of thinking, but you're all in university, you're all smart individuals, so there's nothing that I don't think you can handle. But again, we need to do these little things because it's the little things that lead to little things that lead to big things. Biggest problem every single entrepreneurship goes into is burnout. I ran into this early in my career. I was a solo entrepreneur, and even in school, we're taught as young individuals, we study, we need to be independent thinking, we need to study, we need to master these tests, we can't ask for help around. This is all stuff that's ingrained in our mind as going up through the educational system. So it took me, when I started out in university, I was so proud. I'm a producer, I'm an editor, I'm a videographer, I do it all. And young year, I would go to networking events with high-level entrepreneurs, people like this in the front. I'd say, I do everything. I'm a one-man band. And they would look at me, say, you're on your own? And they would laugh. I thought it was cool. But you realize, I don't care how good you are, I don't care how talented you are, you can't build a multi-million-dollar corporation or business on your own. You need help. And this is why it's important for you all to network this evening, like-minded individuals, because even me, 5 years later, been 10 years out of university, if I'm thinking of somebody I want to hire, the first people that come to my mind are the people I went to university with, the people that I went to networking events with. Those are the first people I think of, because I know, like, and trust them. So understand the value of that. Your time is all you have. We all have 24 hours. So if you need to avoid burnout, these are the foundations we're going to dive into. It's 3 components. They all mirror each other. If you're writing these down, it's going to be it's going to be a little bit more intermediate, but I ensure that it all makes sense. So as an entrepreneur, when you first start out, I gotta grab my red pen. How are we for time? 7:40. Oh man, we're cooking. Buyback formula. When do you know that you can outsource? When do you know you have enough money that you can outsource and to hire somebody? I never knew this. Do I pay somebody full year? Do I get a salary? Do I bring them in full time? So this is how you can easily implement. It's called the buyback formula. So what you want to do is grab your income. You take your yearly income, whatever that may be. You're going to divide that by the amount of hours you work in a year. You're going to divide that by 4. The reason why you want to divide that by 4, ideally when you're outsourcing your work, you want to get a 4x return on your investment, ROI. That's a perfect scenario. Take your yearly income, whether it's $60,000, $50,000. For the example here, we have $200,000. I know you all think that's a lot, but when you're running a business, it's not that crazy. So you take $200,000. You're going to divide that by 2,000 hours. So 40 hours a week times 52. Average employee takes about 2 weeks off a year. 2,000 a year. Divide that by 4. Your buyback rate, you can outsource for $25 an hour. That's how you know you can do that. You can do a lot of damage with $25 an hour. Does anybody have any idea what your first hire, who your first hire should be as an entrepreneur? Scream it out if you know. Have any idea?
Sales.
Sales is an option. Who else?
Accountant.
Accountant?
Lawyer.
Lawyer? Secondary? What do you mean by secondary?
Secretary.
Oh, secretary. I like that. Executive assistant. Every single time. Secretary is your first hire every single time. You go overseas, you can get very cost-effective executive assistant, virtual assistant. That's going to be your first hire as an entrepreneur every single time. Very cost-effective and very powerful, where you can delegate tasks that you don't love doing. So now, as an entrepreneur, you know how much you can outsource. How do you know what to outsource? You do everything. You do accounting. You're a secretary. You're a lawyer. You do everything. How do you know what you should outsource as an entrepreneur? So time and energy audit is going to be a 2-week program, 14 days that you're going to be auditing your time. Okay? So every single day you're going to grab your journal and you're going to document what you do. Grab black and blue. So 7 o'clock, drive to the office. 7:45, make coffee. 8 o'clock, you check emails. 8:30, you got a team meeting. This is very typical for corporate. 9 o'clock, you're doing some cold calling. Okay, and you do this for 14 days. Run a post office. Sales meeting at 11:30. So and when you do this, even if you're doing 15 minutes scrolling on Instagram, like this is where you can really understand, man, am I like wasting my time? Am I not utilizing my time? It's a time and energy audit, so you can actually see what you're doing on a regular basis. And then what you're gonna do is by every task, you're gonna ask yourself how much money it makes you. So driving to the office, you're not making any money. Do $1. Making coffee, it's not a revenue driver for you, okay? Same thing, checking emails, you're not making any money, checking emails. Team meeting, you have a team, you're motivating other people, so there's a little bit more of an increase on dollar value there. So you put $2 signs. Cold calling, that's where you make meetings, that's where you make deals, so it's a lot of money's coming in, so pretty important task for you. So you put $3 signs there. Run a post office, again, $1 sign, checking emails. And then we got sales meeting, again, if you're running a team, you're motivating, so very, very important for you as an entrepreneur. So once you realize what each task, how much money it's making you, how important it is on a monetary value, you're gonna go to the green stuff that makes you the most money. Team meeting, sales call. You're gonna grab green and you highlight all those. All the low value tasks, driving to the office, making coffee, checking emails, you're gonna highlight those. Then, now we know how much we can outsource, $25 an hour. Now we know what we like doing, what makes us the most money, what doesn't make us the most money. Now we got to implement what is called the drip matrix. Drip matrix. Okay, so you got 4 quadrants. And if it makes you money, drive it up here. And if it lights you up, if you love doing it, so if it makes you little money and you don't like doing it, you delegate it. Checking emails, making coffee, This is where your assistant comes into play. You get all that stuff done. If it makes you money, but you don't like doing it, you find a replacement. So this is where maybe you hire a sales rep, you hire a lawyer, you hire an accountant. If it lights you up, but doesn't make you a lot of money, that's the investment. This is not a bad place to be as a founder. I spent a lot of time in the investment world as a content creator, building my personal brand. You're not going to get instant success. It's not a bad thing to be working on because it lights you up and makes you excited, but it's not the best place to be as an entrepreneur. So that's the investment. You can hang out in there, but ideally you want to be in a place of production. Makes you a lot of money and you love it. So Garrin Bulani on stage, running workshops, educating, lights me up, makes me a lot of money. This is where I need to be as an entrepreneur, and I need to outsource and delegate everything else. So that's the foundation to buy back your time and bringing that, and that's going to be in the book that you guys can follow along as well. So you understand how you can outsource, when you know when to delegate, how to delegate, and implementing the drip matrix to be able to make sure that you're delegating the proper components of everything. So next, finally, we're wrapping up. I'm kind of 7:48, so are you guys having fun? Are you guys doing okay? We learn a lot? Okay, I appreciate it, guys. Finally, we're going to talk about my personal brand. Building your personal brand as an individual. Understanding the power of, we talked about it. So I'm going to go 800 days and 457 posts. That's how long it took me to get to 10,000 followers on Instagram. 800 days of consistently getting no results, low views, no likes, consistently posting every other day based on those averages. Being in a position where we're trying to 10x it, it's extremely powerful. And I encourage you all, when you want to build your brand, take screenshots of these aspects of your life so you can look back on it. 800 days of creating content, while it's a great accomplishment, I should go get myself a reward for that, to push myself. So two more graphs for you. How do we create content? If you focus on these 4 metrics of creating content, you'll be successful. First one, you want to connect with your viewers. The algorithm is changing where you don't have to be so niche specific. Building a personal brand, there's so much of you. You might like cars, you might like boxing, you might like working out, you might like drawing, you might like makeup, you might like fashion. These are all components that you need to show your audience. You need to connect with them on a personal level. So no matter, I get a question, what should I post? Post whatever you want, especially when you're starting out, because it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, nobody's really watching when you first start out. You're going to have the least amount of followers than you're ever going to have. So the time to screw up is right at the beginning. Post whatever you want, whatever's on your heart, whatever you feel, post it out, give it out to the universe, and the universe will respond. You'll find they like this post. They really, my video performed very well here, so I can start implementing that. So connect with your audience, create regularly. Why a lot of content creators and people fail building their personal brands, they just give up. 800 days, and I just feel like I'm just getting started. Ask yourself, can you do something like that for 800 days? Knowing at the end that you can have a sustainable career and you can do whatever you want at 800 days. Give yourself that kind of motivation. And me is living proof for that. So conquer limiting beliefs. I'm cringe. I don't know what to post. I don't have any talents. I don't have any skills. These are all limiting beliefs that you need to work past. I don't care that I'm cringe. I don't care that I get haters on the internet. I don't do it for the haters. Every 10 haters I get, if I get one positive comment that changes somebody's life, that's what really fulfills me. And I believe that everybody in this room, you all have a gift to be able to inspire. You all have talents that you can share to the world. I know you maybe you're just a drawer. Maybe you're good at copywriting. Everybody has a gift and a talent, and I encourage you all to share the world. Give it to the world. Let the world know what you're creating. So get past these limiting beliefs that you have. Contribute on a regular basis. If you see a video that you like, if you see somebody who's genuinely out there trying to build a brand, double tap the video, hit it. It doesn't cost you anything. comment on there, share it with a friend. People are building their personal brands. They take note of that, especially when they're first starting out, if they see somebody constantly liking and showing support. And I know when we go into a mindless scroll, that usually what happens. But implementing these, and the best way to connect with your followers and your audience is by talking with your stories, talking with your audience, telling them what you're doing on a daily basis. I post about 3 stories a day, just giving people a generalization of what I'm doing. I did this today. We should actually do that right now. Let's do this right now. I'll show you in real time. So I have a lot of followers who are, they're watching, they're saying, Garrin's on stage right now, he's doing it. So I'm gonna talk here. I'm gonna need some energy from you all. So when I turn around and see you guys are having a good time, I need you all to go crazy. Because I'm gonna show my coach this. And my coach is gonna be like, yo, need this. So I need you all to do this for me. Very, very simple. So when I create content, I'm always using the back of the camera, highest quality. Wipe off the lens. So when I say you guys are having a good night, lose it quickly. Okay? Can I get that from y'all? Okay. Okay. So every time I start, I do a little quick flip. It's like a little transition. It's kind of like a little note, just to kind of, somebody's scrolling, it's just something different, right? Kind of throws them off. What's going on, everybody? We're here on stage, and I'm talking to a group of elite entrepreneurs how to connect with the audience, and you can do that by talking to your audience, just like what we're doing right now with the stories. Are y'all having a good time? Yes, sir. Just like that. Thank you all. I appreciate that. And doing that every single day, that's how you connect with your audience. That's how you show them that you're a real human being and there's nothing special about you. You just have a bigger mission. You have a bigger vision for yourself. So for the final graph, this one is very, very important for me, and this one really hit home because building a personal brand is going to take you years. And it's very much like investing. It's going to be pennies at the start. And you're going to ask yourself, why the hell am I doing this? Because I only get 3 likes and 2 of them are from my mom and dad. And it's embarrassing. I was there. We all start with 0 followers. This is where you go back to your whys and your goals, right? When you have self-doubt and you don't know what you want to do. So this graph, I saw this a couple months ago, and this one really hit home for me. Because I think of 18-year-old Garrin. So most of you all right now, you have your timeline of life. Most of y'all are right here, 20 to 30 maybe, years of age. This is a choose your pain. In life, you all are going to go through pain. It doesn't matter. You're going to go through trials and tribulations. Stuff's going to happen in your life. We're all going to go through pain. So it's up to you. Choose which pain you want to go through. So you have 5 years of pain. This is what I just went through. Sometimes in my life, I would just sit there and break down crying because I didn't know I was doing it. Nothing was going right for me. And why am I doing this? Not having any success. 5 years of pain is grueling. And every entrepreneur goes through this. Maybe 0.00. All these people you see on Instagram with the Lamborghinis saying you can do drop shipping in 90 days is shit. It's not real. And you all, unfortunately, have to go through that the most because you're in that generation. But that's not real. That's not real life. That's not real entrepreneurship. What you can choose is 5 years of freedom. So this is where a lot of my friends in university, during the summer months, they go to their lake house. They do all that fun stuff because I'm 25. 2025, what do I need to lock in for? And there's a component of that. But I asked myself when I was 18, it was plus 40, I'm knocking doors, I have 40 no's. It's a Saturday, I'm on Williams Lake, and I look at the lake and everybody's on there. And I'm like, why am I doing this? There's a component in your life that you need to understand. What you're doing right now is for the 10-year version of you. I stand here today, I'm so grateful for 18-year-old Garrin for locking in and just focusing on the mission and understanding the bigger why, because I wouldn't have been able to do this. I wouldn't have been able to go all in. I wouldn't have been able to invest into my home studio. if 18-year-old Garrin didn't make the commitment and didn't choose to go to the lake houses and do all this kind of fun stuff. And when you make the 5 years of pain, you're going to give yourself 50 years of freedom. Talked about that. Somebody said legacy, freedom. Now, freedom doesn't mean you don't do nothing, but freedom gives you the ability that you make the decisions. That's why I love being an entrepreneur. Legacy, money, but the ability to make an impact on the world, and I make the decisions. I'm not in corporate waiting for someone to choose my life. I can choose my life for me. And that's why I love being an entrepreneur. So going through 5 years of pain for 50 years of freedom, or you can burn the start off, you can screw around, and you're going to wake up at 45, you'll have a family, and it might be okay, but you're going to be like, damn, what if? What if I just started that company and just see what happens? Just see. So avoid the 50 years of freedom, or the 50 years of pain, sorry. 5 years seems like a long time, but I look back, I'm like, man, I'm 34. I have a lot of life, God willing. The ability to chase my dreams and chase my aspirations at such a young age. I'm doing this for 50-year-old Garrin. And I know that because I remember 18-year-old Garrin doing his thing. And I'm going to continue that on because that's what an elite entrepreneur does. One of my biggest flaws in my 5 years of entrepreneurship was waiting for permission. I thought if I just showcased my skills, if I was extremely talented, I could just go to a networking event and someone would come up to me, say, Garrin, I love what you're doing. I want to invest in you. How much money you need? That's what I thought in my head. I didn't know. I've never ran a business before. So I wasted a lot of time waiting for permission. You might have this. Maybe your parents put some doubt in your minds. You want to make your parents proud. Maybe you've had a teacher in the past. You have self-doubts and you're scared to make the jump. Just do it. You need to do it for yourself. Don't ask for permission. Just go disrupt the market. Go make a name for yourself. Because that's what elite entrepreneurs do. Build the life that you dream of every single day and have yourself on 50 years of freedom. And with that, I know we went a little over time, but I want to thank you all for listening to me this evening. I'm extremely grateful to be on stage because you helped me live out my dream. And I encourage you all to do the same. My name is Garrin Bulani, and I'm an elite entrepreneur. And after this workshop, you all have the foundation you need to be an elite entrepreneur as well. Thank you all. I appreciate it.